So I just spent, I think, about 3 hours digging a bunch of trenches for my potatoes, and I hate it. I think it looks incredibly messy, and I've been creating a really beautiful vegetable garden, and I'd really like to keep that trend going. So what I did is I put a weed barrier down, and I thought this was a good idea because there are a lot of weeds in that particular spot, and I don't want to be weeding every couple of days to keep that area from getting overgrown. But I hate it. It doesn't help that it's all shiny. I want this to look tidy, and it's all going to look a lot better once the potatoes actually grow, because they make a really beautiful leafy plant. But until then, it's going to look like that. So I had a little bit of a realization over the past couple of hours. I feel a little stupid, but there are a couple of things that happened. First of all, last week I uploaded a short, which was a clip from my last video where I built that little net tunnel over the strawberry plants. And there were a lot of views and a lot of comments from people coming up with different solutions. And one of the comments said that I was putting toxic things into the soil using PVC pipes, because they are PVC pipes. And I realized that is true. And then I was thinking, why did I do that though? Because I'm actually, we as a family try to reduce using plastic. So why did I think this was a good idea? I did some research. I know that they're not going to break down over the next couple of weeks. So I'm going to leave it for now, but I'm definitely going to create a different solution for this. But what was even worse is that weed barrier that I just used for my potatoes. When I bought this, I went to the garden center and I asked for a weed barrier for my vegetable garden. This is what I got. As I was almost done, I noticed that the places where I cut this stuff started to fray. I thought that a weed barrier cloth was made of fabric. This is not fabric. This looks way more like plastic. The pieces that are coming off are just tiny pieces of plastic, and they are getting into the soil even way worse than my PVC pipes. And that's when I started thinking, why do they still sell this stuff? Because this is what it's made for. You're supposed to put this on the ground so that weeds don't grow up through it, right? But you're putting a plastic sheet under the ground that falls apart very, very quickly. I think if I would leave this into the ground for 2 years, you would not be able to get it out of the ground in one piece. It would be already frayed and broken, and it would leave stuff in the soil. So I'm a little mad about the fact that this is still being sold. I'm also a little mad at the fact that I didn't notice this before and that I actually put it into my ground. I am a little upset about that, actually. I am actually going to take it out right now. I'm going to go and take out the entire sheet of weed barrier, and I'm going to really try to not leave any pieces behind, and I'm going to throw it away. But I'm a little mad about that. So I just wanted to tell you guys that. And also I feel a little stupid that I used it. I promise I'll do better. See? Bizarre. Why is this allowed? I've never actually used any weed barrier at all. I usually just remove the weeds. And I really thought that maybe this year I could not, because that is a lot of work. Not if this is the price. Absolutely not. Doesn't this make you really angry? This is sold as something to use in your garden. This is literally the purpose of this stuff. And this is what it does. And this is 1 day of use. I put this in yesterday. This is not like it's been here for years. It's just, I'm going to sift through all of this and then later do it with a rake as well. See if I can find more of it and remove everything. Don't get me wrong. I realize that I could have known this and I shouldn't have used it. I can't blame it all on whatever industry is creating and selling this stuff. But I mean, if we're all so worried about all of the stuff that we put into the ground, then couldn't we at least start by not selling this kind of stuff? Some people just came by on their bicycles and I heard them talking about my garden. Oh, she put in a nice little vegetable garden. Yes, I did. Oh, look at that. That is not even mine. I keep finding these tiny little bulbs. They look really cute, and I think that they belong to what we call sneeuwklokjes. They come in very, very early spring, and they are very cute. They're tiny white little flowers. I'm actually going to toss these back into the soil somewhere, because I think they will come up again. Okay, I've decided I want to do something about this little terrace area here. I don't like it. It's super messy. I need to do something about this. No, don't look at me. There's people coming by. I'm shy. So I think it's pretty easy to fix. I need to get rid of mostly just that's on the wall right there. And also the plants that are growing, which means that I'm probably gonna have to lift a couple of those big tiles. So let's just assess the situation and see what needs to be done. This is the ivy that we took off of this wall that is actually coming back already. So I think if I want to get rid of them, I should remove the tiles, like lift the tiles up so that I can scoop them out, root and all. Let's try. So I changed out of my dress earlier because I thought that was a good idea because it's a little messy. But now I've changed into shorts because it is hot. Oh, and this is heavy. I don't like the tiles in this area here. So I thought, what if I would turn them around, like upside down? Maybe the bottom side would look better. So as I was taking out tiles anyway to reach the roots underneath, I figured I could try. So I put 2 of the tiles upside down in its place, and I don't like that much better. I mean, the bottom side of these tiles are not pretty. So that is not working. So I'm gonna go and turn those back right side up. But they are so heavy. At some point we will invest in new pretty tiles for this area, but not today. Whew, the sun is back. Whew, those tiles are so heavy. Oh, I have a crazy idea. What if I turn that into a planter? Could I do that? Could I use the tiles as siding and make it into a little planter? Because that would be a perfect spot for some herbs because it gets really hot. It's right up against that wall. There's no wind there ever. So that would be really cool. Also, I could grow a grape up against the shed. Let's try that. It could be fun. I mean, I don't see why it wouldn't work. I could do it right up against the wall. I hate it. It looks horrible. We're not doing this. Nope, that was a terrible idea. I'm gonna put it back. I don't like it. Good morning. It's the next day. It is a lot colder today. The thing is, this area here, this terrace area, there is nearly no wind in this particular spot. So there's only a little bit of sunshine necessary to make it super warm in here. So yesterday, I think it was 17 or 18 degrees Celsius, and it was so hot, especially there at the wall, like the brick from the wall also warms up. So everything becomes really, really hot, which I love, by the way, which is also why we can sit outside pretty much the entirety of spring, because as soon as the sun comes out, we go outside. But today, I think it's 14 or 15 Celsius and the sun is in and out. So not as warm today, but I do have a really good idea. And I don't know if I already shared this. I don't think I did, but I was thinking I could do something with that table. So I got that table that I set up against the shed. It is really in really bad shape. It's almost falling apart. The legs are starting to fall away. One of them is already detached, so it's only leaning on it. There's nothing keeping it in place. So it's definitely no longer usable. It was here when we bought the house. It has been used for a long time. It's good wood. I think it's teak wood, but it's just the structure no longer holds up. So I was thinking, if I just cut that table right in half and attach it to the wall, maybe I could make it into a potting station, or at least something that I could set some things on. I'm just gonna have to see how I'm gonna go about that. Maybe I could use my circular saw and just cut right through. And that's what I did. So I grabbed my circular saw and started cutting. But in order to get through those thicker pieces of wood that kind of holds everything together, I had to lift the saw up, and that seemed a little bit scary. So I decided to switch to manual labor instead, which really wasn't that hard. It actually went pretty fast. I found some old pieces of wood that I could use to screw into the wall and to lean that table on. Now, I'm not super worried about this being untreated wood, as this is definitely a temporary DIY anyway, and honestly, I think that this untreated wood would still outlive the wonky table. So I think it'll be fine. Then the other side of the table, the side that I had cut off, which by the way, really did almost fall apart. I literally had to glue some things back together before moving on. But I attached this to the wall as well, very low to the ground, so it's kind of like a shelf that I can put some things on. Now the entire patio area here slopes down. There's nothing level about this place. So I cut up one of the legs into smaller legs for the lower shelf, and one of them actually had to be quite a bit longer than the other one. So it's level-ish, but it's not perfect. I guess it's fine for its purpose. I can store some of my pots here, and I also want to plant some of the really sun-loving herbs into pots here as well. So they can live out here and be super close to the kitchen, which is where I would need them. What do you think? Not so bad, right? I mean, I wouldn't stand on it, but for what it's meant to do, I think it's fine. I think it could be useful. And finally, I have something to put my things, like the little shovel and my gloves and, you know, stuff for the garden. So, I mean, I've done prettier DIYs, but it was completely free, so. So I got these flowers about like 2 days ago. They didn't last very long. Look at this. It's everywhere. Oh my gosh. On the floor. And this actually happened while we were sitting here, and they just go poof, and it just explodes. It's like every flower will explode about 4 times before there's no more leaves left. And this is what happens. It looks funny. I mean, it's a mess. I think they're peonies. I have to admit, I also don't really like them that much. I don't like the smell of them, so I'm gonna compost them. The weather seems to be clearing up a little bit. There's a little bit more sun, so we are gonna go for a walk. And I thought it'd be fun to take you along, because this route that we're taking, it's about a 1.5 hour circle, and this whole area, the landscape, is so typically Dutch. It's very beautiful, but it's so typically Dutch. I think it's very fun to show you around. But what's interesting is that we have to go all the way around, which is why it takes us so long. But if we would walk in a straight line from our backyard, it takes us about 20 minutes, I think. And in the summer, you can actually go that way. So it would go straight through fields, which are obviously owned by farmers. And usually, obviously, you can't go through those fields. But in the summer, they open it up. So right now in the spring, it is closed specifically for the birds and their babies. And in the summer, they open it up. So you can actually go through the fields. You have to take those little manual ferries, like floating things to get over the water. So I'm gonna try and remember to film that route in the summer so that I can show you, because it's really fun. Okay, we are back, but I have a whole load of laundry to do, so I'm going to end this video right here. I hope you enjoyed it, and I very much hope to see you next week. Bye guys. Wil je eten?